welcome. My name is Kelsey. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I thought it would be kind of interesting to do a makeup inventory. So I've seen these videos kind of like flying around here and there for a while, especially since like the end of the year, going into the beginning of the year, and I'm a little behind on it, but it's okay. But I was really interested in this idea of like seeing how much makeup I had and then like maybe make some goals as far as like stuff I don't want to purchase, stuff I do want to purchase moving forward, and just like making decisions off of that a little bit. So I thought it would be just fun to do that. Before we get too far into the video, I had to bring out my plant of the week. If you're not familiar, I've been doing a plant of the week. My husband and I love houseplants, and we actually have a business where we sell houseplants, and so I thought it'd be fun to like start featuring a plant of the week, show you a little video of it, and tell you why I like it and what kind of plant it is. So this is one of my favorites. This is a Pearls and Jade Pothos plant. This has just like blown up this spring. It's so pretty, but like we got this probably last summer, and it was like tiny for a long time, so I was like just mainly on top here, and it's grown so much this spring. We have it upstairs in our room now, and it just is so happy up here. This is such a pretty plant. I've been attracted to these plants for like so long. I love the color on it. Like I just showed you this leaf, but this is beautiful. It's like white and green. It's not like a yellowy color. I mean, some get a little yellow if they're not getting like a ton of light, but like there's no rhyme or reason to like the pattern on it. Every leaf is so different, and they're just beautiful. They definitely like a lot of light. If they don't get a lot of light, let's see if I can find one here. Like this one's pretty yellow, so if they don't get a lot of light, they're gonna be more yellow looking or like a lot of green, but it doesn't want too much light, because like up here you can see I've got a leaf that's a little sad because I think it just got a little too dried out. So we try to like mist these ones pretty frequently to make sure that they're not like getting too dry, because they like a little humidity, but it's so beautiful, so I thought I had to share it with you today. So I thought I'd move you in a little bit closer because I felt really far away from the camera. But I thought I would just start by like telling you, I have a bunch of categories, and tell you how many items I have from each category, and then kind of like break it down within categories, like what percentage it is of my makeup, and then kind of some thoughts going from here. So I've never counted my makeup collection before. Like that was kind of scary. I was a little afraid it was going to be a lot. I do feel like I have an okay sized collection. It's definitely large, but it's not like a ton. Some of these that I've seen have been like so many things, and mine's not there, but there's a lot and some things I want to work on. So let's jump in. I'm going to talk about face products first. So with primers, I have 7 open primers that I'm using. Foundation, I also have 7 foundations that I'm using, and I did count my powder foundations as part of that, so I think I had like 2 full coverage foundations, like 3 like more like BB cream kind of things, or like tinted moisturizers, and then 2 more full coverage foundations, which I think is a good blend of foundations. Like that's something I'm good with. I have 5 concealers, and those are all quite different as well. I have 3 powders. I do have 2 foundation powders, and I didn't include that in powders, just like more setting powders. And then for setting sprays, I have 5. Bronzers, I have 4. This doesn't include like face palettes or anything. I'll get to that. But I have 4 individual bronzers. Blush, I have 11. Again, not including any face palettes, just single bronzers, and that's kind of a lot. Highlight, I have 8 highlights. Yeah. Liquid glitters, this was like kind of a hard category for me to do. I have like a few like glitter products that are supposed to be used on the face, but they're not like a liquid highlight. They're more like something you put on before foundation, or like you mix in with your foundation. I have 3 of those, so not very many. But face palettes, I have 12. These vary in size. Like for instance, I think the smallest one is just a 2, and it's a contour powder and a highlight. And then it goes anywhere to like 3 products, maybe 4 or 5 products, and then all the way up to like my Tarte Avenue Princess like contour palette. That one has, I think, 6. I also have like a few palettes that might have more than that, and that's a lot of products. Some are just like bronzers, some are just blushes, some are just highlights, but it's a lot of product. Moving on to eyes. I'm starting with eye primer. I only have one, which, okay, perfect. And then for eyeshadow palettes, I have 27, and again, that's varied in size. That could be like a trio, or it could be like 16 shadows, and so that's a lot of eyeshadow palettes. And then single shadows, I thought I was going to have more than this, but I do remember getting rid of a bunch recently. I have only 2. Glitters, so I think the only glitters I have are like liquid glitters, and you would like put it on your eyes or something. I only have 2. And then this one's kind of funny because I never wear these. I have 4 pairs of false lashes. I think I've gotten almost all of them in BoxyCharm. I know I bought one and wore them for my sister's wedding and have not worn them since. And so I have 4 pairs of lashes. I also have 2 lash glues. I didn't include that in this because it felt more like a, not part of the collection, just like an extra. Brow pencils, I have 6 brow pencils. Brow gels, I also have 6. Liners, this includes like regular like pencil liners or liquid liners. I have 5. And then for mascara, I also have 5. I also have a brow kit, like it has like a few powders and like a concealer thing and a brow mascara, and I have 1 of those. Moving on to lips, I have 4 lip liners. I have 9 lipsticks, I have 14 liquid lipsticks, and I have 12 glosses and 6 balms. So like some of them are tinted, like I have like a tinted chapstick, I have the Glossier balms in there, but some are just like a chapstick kind of thing. And that is all of my collection. So overall, my whole collection, I have 169 products. Now I feel like that's a lot, but also not really. Like I feel like between everything, that's not a lot. For face products, I kind of broke it up between like base products and color products. So base would be like concealer, foundation, powder, like setting spray, primer, and I have 27 of those. And then color products, so bronzers, contours, face palettes, blush, highlight, I have 38. Eyes, I have 59 products, so that's all eye products, primers to shadow to mascara to brow products, 59. And for lips, I have 45 products. That's my smallest category. I'm not a huge lip person. Like I kind of just get stuck wearing the same thing over and over, and so I did get rid of a lot of lipstick in my last declutter, and I could probably get more of them even now. To break that down into percentages, face products altogether are 38% of my makeup collection, and that is my biggest percentage of makeup, which is really interesting. I thought for sure it would be eyes, but eyes have 35% and lips have 27%. So I think the reason that my face stuff is so high is I am the kind of person, like, I love an eyeshadow palette. Like, eyeshadow palettes are super fun, but I also know, like, deep in my heart that I'm not going to use them every single day, or like I'm not going to get a ton of use out of them because I already have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. Where face products, like, I am a face product person. Like, I love a good foundation, concealer, powder combo, and then like a bronzer blush duo is just like my favorite. I love it so much, and I get like so much more use out of face products, and so I'm kind of not surprised that I had so many face products. The thing I was surprised about was how many face palettes I have, because I feel like that accumulated really fast. I don't remember ever having a lot of face palettes like before, and then all of a sudden when I was like counting everything last night, I was like, okay, excuse me, I have how many face palettes? So I didn't even count those individually. Like, if I counted all the products inside of those face palettes, it would be a lot of products. I was tempted to do it that way, but then I also just thought, you know what, this is one product. It's not like a bunch of things, it's one unit, so that's how I counted it. So I want to go over the areas that I feel like I need to work on. As far as like my base products for my face, I'm okay with that amount because I have 27 base products, and I'm fine with that. It's really like, because like I said, I use it every single day. It's something that I know I love, and I often try different face base products because I grew up with acne. I still have like acne scars. I get an occasional like pimple here and there, and so I'm always trying to find like the next best concealer or like foundation that's gonna give me some coverage but not look overdone, and a concealer that I can like really work with, and again, it's gonna provide some coverage but it's not gonna like crease a ton. It's not gonna do weird things throughout the day. Powders that are gonna make me look not super oily but also just kind of like a little bit mattified, and so those are the products that I'm always looking for. So I'm fine with having that many. I also usually go through those products, or it's usually like an immediate fail. Like, I know the first time I wear it if I'm gonna like it or not, and so I usually either get rid of it super fast or I'm gonna literally use up the whole thing. Now, the color products, I have these all in little papers. The color products for my face is kind of where I need to work on. I was shocked I have 11 blush, like individual blushes. I love blush. Like, blush is one of my favorite things. Again, I'm like always attracted to new blush, and I think over the years of having BoxyCharm, I've also got a lot of new blushes from them, and I do get in the routine of using the same one over and over, or like the same 5 or something, but I also like all of the blushes that I have, and so it's hard for me to get rid of them. But you're also gonna use a blush for like ever before you can make like a dent in it. And so I don't feel like I need any more blushes as of right now. It's a lot. Same with highlight. Like, I've been working on this same stupid highlight for years and I've never finished it. It was my project pan last year. It's the Urban Decay Sin highlight, and I love it, and it's even a sample size. It's like this big of a little square, and I've used it for like 2 years pretty consistently, and I still have a ton of product in it. So having 8 highlighters is kind of a lot. And then the face palettes. Like I said, I feel like I don't remember having all of these face palettes, and I guess I've just like acquired them throughout the years. But I've also gotten a lot of face palettes, again, through BoxyCharm, whether it's like a contour palette or a blush palette. I've gotten a lot, and I really don't need any more, but there is something about a face palette that just like draws me in, because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like one and done product. I can just bring this traveling and it's gonna be perfect. And honestly, I usually do. If I'm traveling, I bring a face palette, and that's gonna be my bronzer, blush, and highlight for the trip. And so I do like face palettes for that, but for day-to-day, it's not super necessary. So on to eyes. I actually need a new eye primer. The one I've had for a while. It's from Wet n Wild, and I used to love it. I've repurchased it so many times, but I've just kind of discovered I don't really like it anymore. And it's really old, so it probably just needs to go. So I really need a new eye primer, actually. I've been thinking about getting the Milani eye primer. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know down below. I do feel like I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. Again, I have 27 eye palettes, and like I said earlier, I am always attracted to eyeshadow palettes. There's just something about it. If it's like a good color story I like, I'm just drawn in so fast. But I also know I'm not gonna use it a ton, and so again, I think my main source of eyeshadow palettes has been BoxyCharm. For a while, they were doing a palette like every single month. I've had BoxyCharm for over 2 years, so I've gotten a ton of eyeshadow palettes from them. Again, eyeshadow palettes are kind of like a thing that if I try it a few times and I'm not like vibing with it, or like the colors aren't really my favorite, I'm gonna get rid of it. I honestly just will get rid of it. I'll donate it or something, or see if a friend wants it. But if I come across one that I like, then I'm gonna keep it. And the issue I'm having in my collection right now is I'm not getting enough time to try eyeshadow palettes before like a new one comes in. So that was kind of one of the biggest reasons I left BoxyCharm, was I felt like I was just getting too many eyeshadow palettes and I couldn't like try them fast enough to have a decision on them. So I do have one eyeshadow palette that I really want, and it's the Milt Makeup Millennial Pink palette. It's so cute and it's like right up my alley. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I've tested it in Sephora and I feel like I'd be fine with it. And so I'm not buying it right now, but I probably will buy it later. Let's move on to brows, because I have a lot of brow products. Last year in my project pan, I was trying to use up the IT Cosmetics Universal Taupe Brow Pencil, and I didn't finish it up. It's so shocking because it was literally my only brow pencil for like a lot of the year. I still have it. I'm still working on it. I wore it today actually, but I had just like one for a really long time, and towards the end of the year last year I bought the LA Girl like slim brow pencil and ended up not liking it, but just since then somehow I've like accumulated some brow pencils. Some were through BoxyCharm, but I also got sent some Anastasia stuff recently, which is also part of the reason I have a lot of brow products. And so brow pencils, I'm going to try and use up what I have before I get anything else, because I have a lot. And then for brow gel, again, I have 6 brow gels. I have like, my all-time favorite is been extinct. It's no longer a thing. It's the Flower Beauty Bubble Brow. That stuff is amazing. It's so good. And like if I just had that and like maybe the ColourPop one, I could get on for days. And so I don't know why I have so many. Now liners and mascara, I have 5 each, which I feel like is not a ton, but also like those are things that you only, like I don't use eyeliner every single day. I do use mascara every day, but like those are things that you shouldn't really have a bunch open at a time. You should like use them and then move on to a next one, which is kind of how I feel. But again, I was getting a bunch through BoxyCharm, and I don't need 5 eyeliners and 5 mascaras, period. Like, no one needs that many mascaras or eyeliners. Especially, I don't wear like colored mascaras or eyeliners. I have a brown eyeliner and the rest are black. Like, I don't need this in my life. And then on to lips. I don't feel like I need to work too much on any of the categories. I think maybe the only one would be liquid lipstick. I have 14 of that. And again, I just accumulated so many through BoxyCharm. And so now that I don't have BoxyCharm, I will probably get a lot less liquid lipstick. Gloss, I have 12. But gloss is like my day-to-day thing. I wear gloss like every single day, and so I'm not too concerned about that number. I started a no-buy in January. I actually did a no-buy for October, November, and December of 2019. I somewhat succeeded in that. I still had BoxyCharm during that time, and I ended up spending, I did like a no-buy haul, which was everything I bought during my no-buy. I had a few things that I was like okay with buying. I had planned on buying this Melt Cosmetics palette, the Gemini palette. I knew that if I needed something, I was gonna buy it. The biggest thing that kind of like distracted me was the Glossier Black Friday sale, so I bought a bunch of Glossier products at that point. And I think I spent like a little under $300 during my no-buy, which seems kind of crazy, but I also felt like I wasn't bringing in a ton of product. That was also including my BoxyCharm, which was like $35 a month. Then January, I was like back to normal, but I was also kind of like more conscious about what I was purchasing and trying not to bring a lot of things in my collection. I ended up buying a few things January. Going into February, I was like, okay, I need to actually do like a no-buy. Again, I did have BoxyCharm for that month, and that was like my last box that I was gonna do for BoxyCharm, and but other than that, I didn't buy anything. I just had my BoxyCharm. But then in March, I've definitely been buying things. I think partially because the world's just in a stressful position right now, and shopping helps me cope with things, I guess. And so I have purchased a few things this month, but I didn't have BoxyCharm, and I haven't bought a ton. And so going forward, I don't have plans on like doing a no-buy again, but I do think, I mean, like these things that I said I have so many of. So like blush, highlight, face palettes. I'm going to try and stick away from those. Brow products. Palettes, like I said, there I really do want that millennial pink eyeshadow palette from Melt Cosmetics. But other than that, I'm going to try and stay away. Mascaras, liners, I don't need that, so I'm going to try and stay away from these products. I don't have like a goal in this and that like I'm not buying this. I want to bring my makeup collection down to 150 items instead of 169 or something. I just thought it would be kind of eye-opening to look through the products that I have on hand, kind of figure out where my collection is. I feel like it's just really overwhelming sometimes with your makeup collection if you're not like changing over your products all the time to kind of realize how many products you have. And so the next video after this is going to be a shop my stash. I haven't done one since January, I think, and I really enjoy that for like turning over my makeup and trying different things in my collection. I have done a few actually since then, I just haven't filmed them, but I need to film one because I feel like I do a little bit more in depth. The last one I did try and use less products overall, and I think I'm going to try and bring it down even smaller this next time. But that was it for today. Thanks for joining me. Is this something you like? I feel like I like seeing these videos. I think they're kind of interesting to see like how much product people have. Like I said, I have some. I don't have a ton though. And so I feel like mine's a little bit more approachable. I don't know. But thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. I would love to have you around. And until next time, bye guys.